I guess we'll see. NQ's been stronger. I wouldn't be surprised if ES flips stronger. Um, ES is stronger at the moment, so I'm confirmed in the longs on this candle if it closes right. Hopefully, it doesn't go much further up because I'm supposed to get in right here, but I gotta wait till the last 10 seconds. Almost getting in. Yeah, I filled it. We will see what happens. Set up the YouTube in the meantime. Looks like it's gonna stop me out. So I will give it another chance if we come back up. What's my fill average at? I'm technically confirmed into shorts here. I'm not ready to take shorts, and the risk reward's terrible. But that is a hardcore bearish reversal there. It's a very confirmed bearish liquidity sweep on a very good pivot on NQ. I'm bearish for this trend line to break. Gotta fill out my journal, so I'm gonna be quiet for a bit. I am done. So that trend line on NQ very much so needs to break. I really hope it bounces because I would actually be down to take a blind short on NQ for that trend line to break. Not a lot of movement though. These trades are very, very small today. But this is kind of what I'm looking at. It's probably not gonna bounce. It's probably just gonna break it now. But watching for a head and shoulders on the Nasdaq. And honestly, you know, shorts all the way to demand aren't terrible. It's just not likely enough for me to take. Either is this SPX. No, it is not. It's futures, ES, and NQ. I don't know why. I always say I am live streaming futures and people still think this is options. Every single day I get that question. Doesn't make any sense. It's a broadening top. We could. I don't think broadening tops on this scale. I don't. Broadening tops and broadening bottoms are not patterns that I trade. But be advised, it technically is a broadening top on ES, so technically we could drop very, very, very far. Because this is a fairly large broadening top on the 15-minute time frame. I usually just don't believe in them. This looks like bearish consolidation on NQ, or it was looking like a little bear pennant. But I mean, you can take it from here to here. I'm not willing to though because ES is in heavy demand after making lower lows. I would rather wait for a head and shoulders, and I'm okay literally entering a kind of a blind short to play this trend line break. It would have a pretty tight stop loss. Ah, damn, that looks really good for shorts right there though. I might have to get in anyways. If this candle closed like a shooting star, I'd get in, but it's not. That's still pretty damn bearish though, and ES looks like it wants to drop more. That's a little bear flag there on ES. Looks like I'm gonna have to miss out on shorts. I don't even know what futures are. Well, you're gonna have to look into that. YouTube it. Most of my options traders have switched to full-time futures trading. Oh, that looks so good on NQ. That looks nice. Is that PT even like? Is that even a? Yeah, you can take it if you want. It's just like, see, my stop loss would have to be here. The odds just aren't good enough. We're in the middle of the range. Again, you can take it if you want, but only taken very likely trades, and that last long trade was a very likely trade, so I'll stick with that theme. That's a solid bearish consolidation on NQ. That is very bearish. It's unfortunate that I decided not to enter. It's far too likely just to sweep and go right back up. In fact, depending on how low it goes, it may end up looking like a nice reversal trade to the upside. By the way, type in chat, is Trump talking at all today? I should probably know that in advance because that's like made or break my days for like a week straight. So lower low with a buying wick. That looks good for a bounce. Um, yeah, I really can take longs there, but there's still 20 seconds left in the candle, so I'll wait. I do not mind longs there though. It depends on how this candle closes. It'd be a pretty risky trade, but it's an okay one. Um, you could take it if you want to. I'm not. It is a reversal setup, but I wanted more of that selling wick to get eaten back up. It can totally still squeeze to the upside, but unless that closed perfectly, um, I'm not taking it. Using the 1 minute time frame, Cam. New sanctions on Iran energy. Well, Iran energy has nothing to do with US. We don't get anything from Iran. We hate Iran. Or Iran hates us. Iran absolutely despises the US. I think they may hate the US like more than any other country. So we lose nothing by sanctioning Iran for the most part, as far as I know. That is true. Oil is a world market, yeah. I don't think it's going to mess with the US stock market, though. We've been sanctioning Iran forever. It looks okay to continue the reversal to the upside, guys. If you took the reversal trade there, I do like it. I'm hoping it comes back down and gets another oscillation, then sweeps the low and goes up. But we can see a squeeze here. I mean, these are looking like bullish selling wicks at the moment. They're looking like bullish selling wicks, which indicates a short squeeze to the upside. Looks like ES is stronger, though. I mean, yeah, it's a head and shoulders, but depending on what price action does, I'm willing to go long again because that is pretty much a perfect trend line up there on ES. In a perfect world, ES would flip way stronger than NQ and come all the way back up here so I can enter longs to new high of day. But you know, if it keeps dropping down like this, it's going to be a red day, be advised. I'm not going to make any money if it continues chopping downwards. But it looks like NQ is stronger than ES, so that reversal trade did end up playing out. Let me document that. I wouldn't sell here though. If I were in, my stop loss would just be at break even. So if we come back down, it wouldn't have made it. It wouldn't really made a difference. And you know, if we do come off, now, I don't know why my mic is just randomly not working because it's on and nothing changed. All right, you guys will just have to let me know if that happens. Anyways, I'm thinking about ES shorts to demand break. It's weaker than NQ. NQ head and shoulders is possible. It's either ES short to demand break, depending on how weak it is, or NQ longs for ES pre-market high break. But NQ's got a clear as day head and shoulders at the moment. Could not be more clear. Oh, it looks like ES may be flipping stronger. That, you know, that's a solid ass demand bounce. I'm starting to lean towards longs, and I normally would be willing to enter on this candle. I want to wait one more candle. I want to see that entire large red candle invalidate before I potentially get in. And I also want to confirm which is strong as well. Right now it's a bit too even. I'm thinking ES is flipping stronger, but it's done that a few times and flipped weak right afterwards. But this is a nice candle here on ES. So looks like I'm going to have to go for the pre-market high. And I'm just going to have to hope that the Head and Shoulders doesn't play out. That's really all I can do. Problem is if I wait, I miss the trade. I'm not really willing to miss the trade. Yeah, ES is pretty strong. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to re-enter on this candle. Stop loss that. Here. So like, yeah, really, all you can do is just hope that the Head and Shoulders doesn't play out. You know, there's not really much else I can do. You know, it doesn't matter where I put this stop loss; it can sweep regardless. Um, it says 17. Yeah, I can. Well, it's going up more now, so I guess I'll keep my stop where it initially was. Is NQ stronger now, or is it the same? I'm gonna draw on Q to compare because my entry candle on ES was it was stronger of an entry candle. But yeah, normally it'd be pretty 50-50, but demand kind of supersedes that Head and Shoulders on NQ because I mean it's clear as day demand sweeps lower lows. On top of it having a perfect trend line, I gotta choose this ES formation over the Head and Shoulders, but I'd be surprised. It's not impossible, but I'm totally thinking we pull back like right here, right where we are right now. Because even if we do get up, I feel like NQ is going to need some kind of fractal cup and handle to be able to do it. So I guess we'll see. I just hope we don't continue chopping down all day because, oh, and that's a stop loss. Did anyone answer my question on when Trump was talking? Because that completely makes or breaks my day. Give me 1 second. I need to document that. Well, missed out on shorts. Wouldn't have been able to get in anyways. Comes back up, I will be in there like underwear. We need to know when Trump is talking, folks. I don't have time. You guys need to check that shit because I don't have time to check it. Going from options to here. I'm gonna have to re-enter longs here soon. No, I don't really see anything. Yeah, I don't really see anything. So, Twitter news channel on Discord. Let's see. I don't see anything there either. Well, it was a that's pretty much a 4.5 out of 5 TA. If it goes all the way back up, I'm back in, and it will be a 5 out of 5 TA trade. Looks like I'm gonna have to get in, guys. I don't know what that was. Market's like trying to scam me today. Is NQ stronger than ES? That if that's selling what convalidates, I'm in. Otherwise, if we head back down, ES shorts to demand break look pretty good. They look pretty good. But I mean, it's just guessing. High probability trades are out the window right now. So if you're not willing to take losses, do not trade this time. Wait like at least another 30 minutes. It was tariff news. I don't see any tariff news. Yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna take those ES shorts to the demand break. I put my order. We'll see what happens. I mean, it invalidated majority of the bounce and the fundamentals seem bearish, but it's very risky. I don't take it if you're not willing to take a loss. Like there's really no high probability trades at the moment. In fact, this trade is not even starting out very nice. I don't like this green candle. But, you know, what are you going to do? All right, at least it started off green, you know? Wasn't just immediately red. Just like the last trade. The last trade, great entry, started off green. We got scammed. And that's just what happens sometimes. Looks like they're about even in strength right now. That's not a good buying wick on ES. Oh man, it's kind of looking like NQ is weaker. Damn. Well, you know, if NQ gets to demand, I think ES will be at PT. But we'll see if it can even get there. We don't want buying wicks. Buying wicks are evil right now. Yeah, ES is totally stronger than NQ just by a little bit. And I assume it's probably going to grow in strength because of where it's at on the chart. I mean, it's a hardcore liquidity sweep up there in supply, and it's a fairly big supply. That's actually a nice trend line on NQ. Is that perfect? Looks like ES wants to bounce. These buying wicks are too big of a hazard. Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously I'll lean bearish for NQ to break that trend line. It's looking kind of 50-50, guys. I don't know. I think we can totally see a stop loss right here. But that's only if the news was actually bearish. And I still don't see anything on the Twitter news channel, so I don't think it was like. And then you sent out a tweet. Cool. Hopefully that tweet is still. Because, you know, I won't be mad at my boy Trump because he bailed us out 2 days in a row. But if I win this trade, I make back the previous loss. All right, here's NQ on this trend line. This is going to act as support, especially because he has just made low a day. You can take profits here if you want. I'm personally going for the demand break and NQ demand. Those last two trades were good too. There's nothing I can do about that. Those last two trades were flawless, 10 out of 10. I'd take those same setups tomorrow. The first one was a 4 out of 5 TA. And then the second one was 4.5. This one I only give a 3 because of the lower lows in demand that I'm betting against. But this is more of a was more of like a fundamentals trade. Like still a lot of TA, but fundamentals played a factor. There's PT hit. And there's NQ demand just as predicted. And I'm not really comfortable going shorting into NQ's new demand through ES's pivot. I mean, it already tested this demand a few times on ES, so that's why I was willing to do that. Very slightly red on the day now. I'm red by less than half of one green trade. So our risk toward's looking pretty good. Not sure if this has to do with anything. U.S. issues fresh Iran-related sanctions. It could, Sonny, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like sanctioning Iran is like sanctioning Russia. It's it's been happening, and especially with Trump in office, I don't think it would be a surprise to anyone that he's gonna sanction countries that deserve it. Man, that's a nice trend line on ES though, folks. Like, it's a fairly big trade, and I can't take a reversal trade here. If NQ makes this lower low, maybe, but I'm no longer willing to because it looks like we have some bearish fundamentals. But if we come back up to here and invalidate this selling wick, yeah, it could pull back, put in an inverse head and shoulders, and stop me out. But based on that trend line, this got to be a trade I go for. And it would have a fairly big stop loss. But, I mean, that's, the solid pivot sweep, and it'll be a solid demand bounce on NQ, and it invalidated a majority of the move, and it has a very nice trend line. That's a long that's going to be unavoidable. But keep in mind, because I don't see anything super bearish with the markets right now. I mean, if there was, the Twitter news channel, which is my favorite channel in this entire Discord, guys, would be lighting up right now. I do not. I think it's actually fairly likely that we retrace this entire drop and end up going on a run fueled by a short squeeze. But NQ did miss this little pivot right here, and it looks like NQ wants to come back down for that. I'm just happy that my stop loss was not only perfect on that trade, which was another small loss. The other stop loss I took was perfect too. But it dropped in such a way that I couldn't even trade the head and shoulders if I wanted, right? Now, if it just kind of swept my stop and then continued down, then I would have missed out on that head and shoulders trade. But the way it stopped me out, I missed out on no opportunity, which is good. Chat, what do you guys think? Take your votes right now. Do you guys think we head all the way back up, or do you guys think we continue down to the next demand cluster on NQ or ES? Type in chat, what do you guys think? Bullish for ES to come back up. Looks like more people are voting up right now. We have 5 people up, 2 people down. I can see a little bit further down because NQ did miss this low right here. But I have to be in, and it sucks because it doesn't matter where I put my stop loss here, it can sweep it because now we have a potential inverse head and shoulders, right? It can come all the way down and back up. There's really nowhere I can put my stop loss that's safe unless it's all the way down here, which I am very unwilling to take a loss that large. I mean, you could enter now, and you would have a fairly good risk to reward, but we're not out of the dangers. If NQ also swept that low, I would. But because it didn't, this is far too low of a probability down here. I'm just glad I had a hard stop loss on that trade because if you guys remember 2 days ago when I stopped out 3 seconds after I entered and I had a market sell, imagine if I didn't have a hard stop and had to market sell all the way down there. That would have been such a big loss. That candle was freaking huge. That would have been so big. Let's see how big this loss would have been. You hit a market sell. Oh, sweet Jesus. You're selling for two big green trades. Two sizable green trades. Got to do it. First thing you do. Hard stop loss immediately, especially when Trump's in office. Got to have that hard stop. And whenever Trump news happens, I notice that it doesn't really sweep my stops. Yeah, it can go down and come back up, but usually the candles are large enough to where it doesn't barely wick your stop loss. If it's gonna hit it, it's gonna dump right through it. See if NQ ends up going for this low. It looks like I said it wants it. Wonder if it's gonna try. But it might not, you know. Doesn't have to. I mean, it bounced out of demand. ES swept lows beautifully. I mean, this was a beautiful bullish liquidity sweep here. Yeah, it doesn't have to at all. I'll tell you what though, this trade that if I take this long, guys, it's gonna be a hard trade. I don't think it's gonna happen easy if it happens. There's a lot, just the supply. There's a lot of major pivots we're gonna have to get through to get to the pre-market high. It's gonna be very difficult. But my hypothesis is, if it invalidates most of this move, there is more than enough shorts in the market right now to fuel a squeeze past this high. That's what I'm thinking. Now, it'll become very tricky if NQ ends up being stronger than ES. I hope that's not the case. I hope ES is just stronger. It's the one with the nice trend line and stuff. If NQ ends up being stronger, I'm just going to have to enter NQ and sell whenever ES gets to that high. You guys can hear me, right? Alex said he can hear. At what time frame is the demand we bounce off of? It's a 45-minute demand zone. There we go. NQ shorts don't look terrible on this candle. Not gonna lie. They don't look terrible entering on that candle. I can't though. It's against my bias, and there's just too many shorts in right now. I don't know the fundamentals of it continuing down. That was a nice bounce, but here's a trade you can take. It's not bad. It's just, I think it can easily invalidate this red candle. It's just not high probability enough for me, but I think there's way too big of a short squeeze opportunity with where ES swept and how big that drop was. Way too risky for me to short. It keeps switching back and forth. Now NQ stronger. If NQ beats it to, I mean, I wanted if ES get the hypothesis is if ES gets to here, it has a decent chance of getting all the way up to here. It's still a crazy risk to warn. It'll be a crazy big win, but it has a decent chance. The thing is, if NQ gets way higher and ES is only right here, I think I may just enter NQ anyways with an additional hypothesis that NQ is going to pull ES to my entry. But in order for this trade to work, I need ES to go up because that's like the whole hypothesis is ES breaking the trend line and as a result, that catalyzes a move to pre-market high. This isn't a bad long entry either. You know, I said that short entry, it was okay, like it's acceptable, but not high probability at all. NQ is way stronger than ES, and ES is invalidating a lot of that small pullback. I think there's a decent chance ES gets the high of the selling wick. But once again, I'm looking to enter on NQ roughly here. And even NQ high. That's good. That's pretty much as just about as big of a trade as ES is. And you're going to be entering it earlier. So realistically, I mean, you'd hold to like up here if NQ stays stronger. It's a really big trade, potentially. Looks like ES is failing though. Honestly, I'm just going to hang out on my phone till there's something to do. I can't really go short, especially because ES is on that pivot. And now with ES weaker, I wouldn't be able to go short on NQ. It's really longs or nothing. And with the way NQ's moving up, I I might enter NQ long soon. It can pop up. Actually, I'm not going to go on my phone. Because now this is like a mini bull flag on ES, but it needs to break on the next candle or it's probably not going to do much. Never mind, I'm going to hang out on my phone. This candle's getting a selling wick. Going to be a while before I enter a trade. Anyone else see Sean Strickland's mustache? He totally looks like Walter White now. Anyone see that? Type in chat if you saw that. He looks like Walter White. I cannot unsee it. He needs to get rid of it. Sean Strickland, Dev. MMA fighter. Who's controversial but hilarious. Well, this is actually not a bad NQ long here, but it's in a narrow rising wedge. The reason I say that because I can safely assume that there's a high chance that ES gets to here. By the time ES gets to there, NQ is probably going to be up here, but that's still not high enough for me to trigger in. So, and you know, we are going to be going against some supply right here as well. I'm going to want it to break into supply before I get up, but you know, honestly, I think the market's like slowly treading back up because they don't know what the hell happened. Yeah, I don't really think anyone knows what happened. I mean, it could be the Iran stuff, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we go all the way back up because I have no idea what happened. You guys got to look at it during the interview, I think. Yes. Oh, guys, is he fighting Duplessis this weekend? To be honest, he won the last fight. Like I don't think he should have lost that. I think he just lost because his face was bloody. But I mean, even Dana White had Strickland winning um, the fight against Dreykus. But is ES flipping stronger though? Because I mean, if we compare where it's kind of confusing because ES has been weaker, but if you compare relatively to where ES is, I mean, ES has invalidated pretty much this entire candle. NQ is not. But this entire sideways trend, NQ kind of treaded up. But ES bounced a lot harder after the pivot, NQ did not. So I think it might still be ES longs that I take after all. Rising wedge is too perfect. Correct. It is too perfect. I don't think it's going to play out because of that. But it's also way too steep too. Super steep rising wedges like this, they don't play out as often. Um, they break to the downside, but it more so like the steeper rising wedges. Obviously, the stronger the momentum of the uptrend is. It'll still break to the downside, but it won't go very far. It'll just turn into like a bull flag or something and go back up. But that's technically the break to the downside on this little rising wedge here. Oh, there's a little rising wedge. Be very surprised if it sends it all the way to demand or something crazy. Technically speaking, it is a potential short trade if you take shorts here. Yeah, that's a short trade. Am I willing to take it though? I don't know that. I mean, that's a confirmed, and that's a nice price target too. Shit. Do I take this short trade? This is a tough one, guys. Do you take the short trade or not? It's not as big of a win. It's a little bit smaller than my average win. But that's a nice PT, and NQ's weaker than ES now. I think if it hit supply, I definitely would have. But I'm essentially betting that ES is going to have to go all the way back down too. And that's against my overall bias. So, more than likely, even if it did hit my entry, probably just going to sit it out. Not going to take it. But I can see how this long trade won't play could not play out on ES. It's if ES gets to my entry, I enter, NQ rejects supply, starts heading down to that pivot, can totally happen. So it's going to be very easy to lose money coming up, but CES is almost at my entry. I wanted to break over VWAP and validate this selling wick. All of those things. But man, with NQ so much weaker than ES, this short trade really isn't bad. You just have to bet that ES is going to pull back a bunch, and I'm not. Yeah, ES does look like it can pull back a bunch though. But you'd only have a 1-to-1 risk to award, and if you stop out, I'd have to enter ES longs. So think about it. If it comes down, I enter, and I stop out. Well, by that time, ES is probably going to be at my entry. I'm going to have to enter longs right after. That exposes me to 2 losses back to back in a very short period of time. And because I like this trade so much more than this one, I'm not taking anything that's going to go against this while this is still plausible. Kind of like the same thing I did today with options. It's unfortunate that the SPX puts did actually play out and the Q calls did not here. Um, but playing to this PT was just a way bigger priority. I guess I'll hang out on my phone and wait for something cool to happen. Because there's nothing to do at the moment. All right, folks. It's nearly time for me to lose my ass on this trade. No, I'm just playing. Actually, I'm not playing. It could totally happen, but it's just about time. I'm hoping if NQ rejects supply, it does it before I have to enter. Because that would be neat. And I think my stop loss where it's at is actually pretty decent. See, now it looks like NQ's starting to flip strong. But, you know, I'm liking the momentum here. This candle closes right, I am in. And we will see what happens. I hope it's not a massive candle, because that's going to really screw up my average. Way worse of an average. God damn. Well, nothing I can do about it. I did not want that terrible average. I tried putting an order here, but it didn't work out. So, whatever. Only a 5 tick difference in profit, and I don't think much of a difference in, I think maybe a 1 tick difference loss wise. Let me see, because my, where I wanted to enter initially was here. And the loss was here. 2 tick difference in loss. Unfortunate. Of course, right when I say I hope this candle isn't huge, it ends up being the biggest green candle we've had in a while. All right, that's straight. I'm gonna hang out on my phone until something cool happens. If we break this trend line and get to supply, I'm able to move my stop loss up a couple of ticks. It's not gonna make a difference if it comes all the way back down. But I am actually expecting a pullback off of the trend line. So we'll see if that happens. We do have a potential inverse head and shoulders here. I think it's pretty likely to play out. Looks like it's trying to. That's a very bullish pullback and reversal from that pullback, but that is not a right shoulder, so we can totally still get a big right shoulder when we touch the supply. Just adds up. Man, I really wish I got the average I wanted, but you know what? Looking back on it, I'd have to enter where I did anyways. Like I can't like that is I'm confirmed in on that candle very much so. Just hate when that happens. But my 10-second rule, as you guys know, helps me far more than it hurts me. So it's just one of those things that you gotta bite the bullet on. Let's see if it breaks this trend line here. I'm gonna keep hanging out on my phone by the way, unless something interesting happens. This is probably gonna be a very long trade. Eclipse, the MNQ chart is a little bit different, yes. So I try to base my TA off of NQ, but some major, like some wicks may be a little bit different on MNQ. Maybe MNQ actually sweep the pivot barely when NQ didn't, or vice versa. It's not really bad, Eclipse. You're gonna get pretty much the same result. It's very rare that you'll get a different result, but it can happen. All right, I'm gonna keep hanging out on my phone. It's gonna probably gonna be a while before I stop out or hit PT. Looks like NQ is trying to catch up to ES strength wise. I assume that's probably going to be the case. But I'm kind of hoping if they do, if we do get to PT, NQ and ES will hit at practically the same time. Um, though, the unfortunate thing is, though, if I did enter NQ, my PT would be bigger. Like, I would make more money. Because if I entered here, PT is here. Yeah, it'd be a little bit, it would make it a little bit more. I don't know how much more. Let me find out. Make like $100 more. But also the thing is, I would sell once ES gets there. So let's see. Just got in. What direction are you steering? It bullish at the moment. Don't know if it's actually gonna get there, but yep, I am very confirmed in. Trump did something which ruined my last attempt, which I am nearly positive that this attempt would have worked out. Like this was good here. But we did make back the money and then a little bit from the loss, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. Looks like NQ's back to being weaker. Let's see. I mean, NQ could drag ES down. We put in that right shoulder for the inverse head and shoulders. We still haven't done that yet. But like I said, it's going to be a while before I stop out or I get to PT. So I'm actually going to hop on the phone for a moment. It'll be like a couple minutes. And I'll just put on mute if something absolutely crazy happens. Like I said, I'm on the phone, so it's going to be a few minutes before I'm back. All right, I am back, people. All right, now I'm unmuted on Discord, so I am back. Well, ES is a lot stronger than NQ. Unfortunately, this pullback is happening a bit too late. It doesn't really look like an inverse head and shoulders. So, it's a complete toss-up if this trade works out. It's a solid trade. Didn't even make a higher high, but it didn't really show any major breaking of that trend line. Didn't really show anything I like about it. There could be one thing that would really help the probability of this trade working out. Let's see if it's there. It's not. So we don't even have like a very good trend line on NQ. This one's okay. Obviously, if we invalidate this drop, that's going to be pretty good to continue, but it's putting in a right shoulder too late. So the inverse head and shoulders is not proportional anymore. So that's pretty much no longer a part of the hypothesis, which means if it goes up, has nothing to do with that. I do like the volume spike that happened on that red candle, though. That's indicative of a reversal. And I'm loving the strength on ES. ES is doing exactly what I want it to do. And on this right chart, as you guys know, I'm not in NQ longs, but I put this on the chart just to compare, the two. And definitely made the right choice. Now, obviously, my stop loss would be much further away. It would be roughly here. But there's still a pretty large difference. My stop loss would be back here. Folks, this could be such a long trade. If Trump's not talking, if Trump's talking, it can dump or pop any moment. I feel like we're kind of due for a pop, even though we did yesterday, because pretty much all of them have been dumps. But price action looks like it's very dry at the moment. It looks like it's just not really going anywhere. It's pre-NFP. What's NFP, Joey? On-farm payroll tomorrow. That's usually not a very big deal. In my experience, on-farm payroll only gives me a spike on the 1 minute, then it's over. Looks like NQ is going to make a lower low here. Let's see how hard it drags down ES. Thing is, ES isn't going to be able to stay strong forever, so I'm going to need NQ to sweep this low, then go back up if this trade's going to work out. ES can get a nice VWAP test. I want ES to sweep this low here. I want ES to sweep this low. Boom, boom. That'll look pretty good. Still, it's a fractal inverse head and shoulders, but not very confirmed. I can just ignore all of this price action right here and pretend it's not there because fundamentals screwed that up. And then we would have then we would have a nice inverse head and shoulders. That'd be a lot nicer, but I can't really do that. Price action does not look good, guys. It's not looking good. I want to see a lot more momentum. This has a chance here because NQ did make a lower low. If NQ bounces and ES remains as strong as it is, it'll look a lot better. But right now it looks so stale and dry. I mean, it looks like this is a trade I can sit in for another 45 minutes to an hour and still stop out of. So if you're not willing to endure that, you can just dump it at break even if you want. But I am willing. I'm just going to hang out on my phone. I'm actually going to start up a risk game, which they do take a while. Looks like NQ failed that bounce. It's looking like it's picking up bearish momentum. That is pretty bearish volume on NQ. ES got to where I wanted it to go, though. That's my white line. This bugs me, though. This pivot down here on NQ still bugs me. That's pretty much the only way this trade stops out, is that if this pivot wasn't here and this made the lower low, it'd have way better odds. See, is that the 38? No, it's a 50%. ES swept my target, though. If this next candle can be green and it retains this entire buying wick, that looks really good. That's exactly where I wanted it to go. Unfortunately, though, it looks like NQ is going to try to flip stronger. I mean, it just swept a lot more buy side than ES did. That was a very nice wick on ES, though. That's exactly where I wanted it to sweep. Let's see if it was enough to turn this thing around and invalidate this drop. It's a very bearish candle on ES. Looks like it's going to stop out now. It's a very bearish volume as well. Look how low the volume is with the size of that candle. I guess I won't start my risk game. This is an NQ short trade here. You can stop out early if you want on ES. It looks like fundamentals have kicked back in, and we are back to dumping. I do like NQ shorts, but I need, when this stops out, it's pretty much a win. I need it to bounce and then come back down, and then I can enter NQ short for this low. And that's pretty much going to be it for the day. If it bounces before my stop loss, I don't think I'm going to be able to play shorts on NQ. So I wanted to enter roughly up here. My stop loss would be here. I can go a little bit higher, but that's fine. Damn, NQ's bouncing before my stop loss. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to enter shorts. Like a high probability chance to enter shorts if we come back down and stop me out. But unless ES goes all the way back up to break even, I'm thinking I'm going to stop out. ES is too weak now. I don't think the 61.8 is going to play out on NQ. It technically could, but... And it could because NQ did sweep the... I mean, this was a very nice level to sweep, and it swept all of it. So NQ... I'm not one to get my hopes up. I'm usually a pessimist when I trade for a very important reason, but... NQ did confirm a very nice bounce off the 61.8 that happened to be a pretty decent place to sweep. The problem is ES is just so weak that I think it's going to stop out regardless. And when it stops out, I don't think I'm going to be able to enter shorts. I wanted to stop me out here, bounce, then come back down, enter shorts, play it to here. It's not looking like that's going to happen, so guess we'll wait and see. There is technically a chance we go all the way back up, but I wouldn't say it's a huge one. Looks pretty good to continue down. It could bounce one more time, but it is putting in bearish consolidation. Um, I could stop out of this early, then enter short, but it's like there's too much risk in that, you know, because it'll be a really nice short trade. It's okay now, like it's acceptable, but it'll be a lot better. It's acceptable, but I still can't enter. It's still rather subpar. If we did this and came back down, that would be a very nice short trade right there. And I could stop just to go short on NQ, but the problem is by what I mean there's too much risk is if we go back up and I'm wrong, what's that going to do to your psychology when you stop out 2 times in a row that wasn't even necessary? And God forbid if you're wrong and you enter longs back up here, which I probably have to, you stop out again, you're not recovering from that. You're going to blow your account. Not worth it. It's a bear pennant on ES. Doesn't have to break to the downside because of it being stronger than NQ and NQ sweeping lower lows with buying wicks, which is rather bullish. But that is a bear pennant on ES here. I'm actually thinking if ES stays stronger than NQ, I am thinking there's a chance it could sweep my stop and come back up, but there's just not enough volatility in the market. Even if it did come back up, I have huge doubts that it's physically able to get to the pre-market high. I don't think there's enough participation anymore. That is a potential reversal setup on NQ though. Why not enter shorts right now? Yeah, I just explained it, Cam. I didn't think that 30-minute supply was going to be that strong after how much it was tested today, but when you have no participation in the markets, the existing orders are going to drive price action. It looks like NQ failed its reversal setup, so it looks like ES is going to stop. I can't enter shorts unless it bounces pretty hard, then retraces the drop. So I'm still looking to enter shorts roughly here. But NQ looks great to this. It looks great to this pivot. It really does. If NQ doesn't bounce, I'm going to miss out on shorts. That's probably going to be it for me today. I'm red by about 1.5 green trade, so very small red day today. But if we continue chopping down, there's absolutely no way for me to possibly turn a profit from this price action. So yeah, I need NQ to bounce pretty hard. Even if it bounces to here, I'm not willing to enter. It needs to do this. It needs to get a decent bounce and then invalidate that bounce, then I can hop in. This is really big compression, to be honest. I don't. We might not. I mean, the range is too big. We might not break out while I'm here. And really, I'm only willing to take this short trade. I'm not willing to take this long trade again. It's too unlikely to play out. There's just not enough buyer participation. Unless we just start exploding to the upside, I could. But there's not enough buyer participation here to go long. I don't think it's going to play out. You could enter shorts if you want to. I can't. It needs to bounce pretty high. I need it to bounce at least to this high and then come back down. And then I can enter, and that's a bare minimum because it's pretty likely to oscillate like this. I appreciate that, Cam. MNQ's too weak, folks. I don't know if I'm going to get the bounce I need. Oh, it's bouncing decent. All right, I can work with this. I can work with this. Like I said, if we go all the way back up, I'm unwilling to. It's not likely. There's not. I didn't see any above that trend line. There was nothing, no buying whatsoever. Now there's a lot of buying. Um, so yeah, if we NQ swept the area that I wanted it to, if that green candle validates, I'll give shorts a stab. That is still a really nice PT on NQ. But you know, if it goes all the way back up, I don't think it's likely enough. I saw no green flags after we crossed the trend line. The only positive candle I had was 4 minutes after entry, then not a single one after that. Not to say it can't go up, but it's been chopping down for a bit too long. Chopping down is bullish, but the longer you chop down, the more bearish it becomes. It's kind of displaying that. Where I have to put I don't like putting my stop loss right when it gets to supply because if it tests supply and comes back down, I can, it's gonna sweep my stop loss. Um, but I'm not really willing to put it any higher. I mean, I could put it here, but that's not a very good risk to reward. I think I might actually put it here. It's 1.4 risk to reward, but it's also above this wick right here, which is pretty decent. And if it does drop and it does get new low of day, I'll move my stop loss all the way down here. But this is pretty much my entry candle here. So if this candle closes red, hopefully it's not huge. I'm willing to enter. I'm hoping this candle closes green personally, though. I'm hoping it goes back up because it would help the odds of this trade quite a bit. Yeah, Lisa, it does, but it's far too far away. It's way too far away. And NQ is really weak. Where was the ES strength when I was in the trade? Where did ES bounce off of? Is it the 61.8? It did bounce off the 61.8, and it just okay. ES just completed the 61.8 prophecy. It just got there. Just went from 61.8 to 61.8. All right, if NQ comes back down and validates this candle, I'm in. It's a decent trade to try. But if ES goes all the way back up, that's just going to be unlucky. I'm not willing to. I saw nothing good while I was in here. If a solid long trade, that'd be very high odds. Is if it did this, that would be a lot better. But that's back up to my original entry. So it looks like it didn't perfectly sweep my stop. It got an entire point under my stop loss, a point and a tick. Um, but that's a solid ass stop loss sweep. My stop loss was far away too. It's either NQ shorts or ES longs at the moment. A lot of people are probably thinking re-enter longs, but I've seen this happen so many times before, and it's just simply not likely enough anymore. It's been just chopped down way too long. That is a potential short entry right there on that last candle. I gotta wait for this one though. I have to wait for this one because it missed supply. If it got a huge selling wick and it hit supply, I would have entered short on that red candle there. But it's a little bit too likely to put in like a little baby cup and handle on ES. So I'm gonna wait for it to get past my entry and close decently before I enter. And this will probably be my last trade. If I lose this trade, it's looking like today's red day will be 1/3 of yesterday's green day. Actually, a little under half of yesterday's green day. And that's why I wouldn't enter on that candle, because it could still be going for supply. I mean, it technically could break to the upside and run. It's just that hypothesis is pretty much over. You know, if this short trade does play out, I don't think it would drop the probability that much. Because it's going to be hard to get to PT. But I don't think it would hurt the odds that much if you went for this PT instead. Like, from my entry to PT is way... Price action would have a way easier time getting from my first PT to my second one than my entry to my first PT. Because, yes, it can sweep lower lows and bounces, but I mean, by the time that happens, ES is going to be somewhere down here. I think it's going to be decently below this pivot, so kind of a bullish sweep is going to be out of question. And I think ES has a decent chance of going for this low of day. I mean, this is a big pennant to break to the downside. And all right, I am in if this candle closes. Gotta wait the last 10 seconds. So I'd appreciate it if it isn't massive, or I can put in a huge buying wick or something to keep me out of the trade, but let's see, because it's still a potential little cup and handle here. Here's the last 10 seconds. I need that buying wick to go away. It did go away. Pretty much in the last seconds, so we'll see what happens. It's my last trade. It's not a good candle to start with. What was my fill? 72? Still draw it on the MEQ. NQ is stronger than ES. It's not looking great. Damn. Of course, right after I enter, too. It stays weak the entire time until I enter. Anyways, that's the trade setup. Oh my gosh, look how much weaker it is. ES is a better short. Told you guys. I told you guys, though. There's no way in hell it's going to bait me into entering longs again because I would have stopped out right now. No way in hell. Simply just not likely enough. But honestly, this trade is, I mean, it's still a valid trade. Like, it's a good trade, but I wanted it to have like 90% chance. Right now, it's got like a solid, probably just a 70%, which is good enough to enter, but we'll see. It's a very big compression. Like, this is a lot of compression here. Like, this is a very big pattern. We can, like, not gonna lie. If we get to the first PT, it's gonna be tempting to go for the one all the way down here. Because it is truly just going to be a very big, I mean, it truly has a lot of potential to have a big break. I mean, just the width of this pattern. From here, like, a reasonable width. Just the width puts me, oh my gosh, it's like aligned perfectly. Type in chat, do we go for the home run? Hurry up, because it's already dumping. I said once we go for this low, I'm moving my stop loss up a bunch, and it did just get the low, so stop loss is now moved to here. Boom. Now it's a very small loss if I stop out. Do I go for the home run? It depends how it acts with this low. If it doesn't act good with this low, I will not for sure. If it acts good and kind of blows right through it, I'll heavily consider it. Oh my gosh, we're not getting buying wick. Guys, I think I'm too much of a wuss to go for the bigger PT, only because demand's here, and we'd have to go through a major pivot. But then again, if I go for the further PT, I'll flip green on the day. I don't think I can flip green on the day from this trade. I don't think it's big enough. What is it? Let me see. Keep in mind that you shouldn't be thinking about that while you're in a trade that's trading for money, but yeah, it's not big enough to flip me green. All right, with the way it's bouncing right now, nah, I'm okay. I'll go for the further one. ES does have a perfect double bottom though right here. It's still kind of close together, so it's not the biggest deal, but I am bearish for this level to break on ES. It is tempting to go big, but that PT is a lot further away. And honestly, it kind of looks like it may just put in a falling wedge and go all the way back up. That's a very, very nice bounce right there. If this candle doesn't invalidate, then it's looking like it's actually going to stop out. How much is this loss here? That's a really small stop loss. That's good. Because there's no shot in my mind if it gets all the way back up to here, it won't continue to where my stop loss initially was. And then it can be double fake prophecy, which means if it does come back down, I won't be trading anymore. I'm going to lock myself out after this trade. But if we come back down, it'll be a great, oh my gosh, it'll be such a good trade. It'll be such a good trade to this low. Literally 5 out of 5 TA. Like, it's a phenomenal trade. Very, very, very high probability. Looks like NQ. It looks like NQ may just squeeze out all the shorts though. This candle did not invalidate like I wanted it to. Put it in kind of a selling wick, but this candle's opening bullish. It's looking like it's gonna stop me out. That fun was short-lived. Very short-lived. It was a great trade though. What a great entry. You just document that real quick. Yeah, and NQ stronger now, which makes sense because it swept the lower low. ES didn't. Looks like I'm gonna stop out. Yeah, at least I already have that marked. That is actually bullish for a long. If you not in shorts, you could enter it to supply. It's very, very likely to get to supply. Um, you could selling your trade early even wouldn't be bad at all. But I don't sell my trades early. If ES didn't put in a perfect double bottom and ES made the lower low, I would sell early for like break even. But because it didn't do that, I have a small amount of hesitation. I'm not selling early, but I'm telling you guys now it has like a solid 80% chance to stop out and continue through supply. That's pretty bullish. Wow, this run may go for a while. If we invalidate this selling wick 2 on NQ, we could go on a pretty big run. Like, there's a lot of shorts that can get squeezed out if we invalidate that selling wick. Or we can just go for a double fake prophecy. That's possible too. But NQ is way stronger than ES now. Jeez, it is a lot stronger. Oh my gosh, it's so much stronger. That looks terrible. Close it at break even. I can't hold to that strength. No, it's literally a long trade right now. So the only reason why I was in is because ES still had that perfect double bottom, but watching how strong NQ was while ES goes for that, I'm okay. If it goes back down, that is horrendously unlucky. But yeah, I don't care. The odds are literally so freaking high to stop me out. There's no hesitation there. And that's my rule. If there is absolutely no hesitation to stop at break even, I do it. But 90, 95, 98% of the time, there is hesitation. This is a perfect trend line though. I kind of want to stick around and go short again once NQ pops up because this is a perfect trend line here. It looks like it. Let me see if it is. Not quite, but this trend line does need to break though at some point. I'm thinking NQ does something like this. I'm thinking it puts in a nice little double fake prophecy. Which, for those of you I don't know, it's when you have a solid pattern like this, you fake one way, fake the other way, go the original way. It looks like NQ struggling to go up. NQ could drop again here. There's a lot of selling wicks here, and they're all like a lot of them are higher highs. Hope it doesn't. I still think it's very likely that we get into this supply. I am very much so considering taking one more trade. I know I said the last one was my last, but this one's going to be a really good setup. And I keep in mind, I didn't take a loss on the last one. I sold it at break even. So if I did take a loss on it, it would be my, if I took any P&L change, loss or win, it would be my last trade for sure. But because I didn't, I'm willing to stick around. And if NQ does put in a double fake prophecy and come back down like this, whichever one's weaker, I'm willing to take short, especially because this perfect double bottom here is here on ES now. We'll see. I'm gonna hang out on my phone and wait. We'll see what happens. ES might go for the double bottom right now, but I'm more so expecting an inverse head and shoulders on NQ. I'm gonna wait and see. If it does go back down, I'm not entering. I already made my executive decision to stop at break even. It would be horrendously unlucky if it did go all the way back down, because it is very much so not likely to do it. But I think ES could get to the double bottom before NQ puts in an inverse head and shoulders, because NQ wants to go up. It very much so wants to go up. And in fact, if NQ did come down, honestly, taking a long to supply is not a bad trade at all. Like, I would, like, a long to supply is actually a very likely trade, depending on how it goes down. You know, if it goes down with those buying wicks, or if ES gets to the lower low, puts in a bullish liquidity sweep, and NQ does something like this, I think that inverse head and shoulders great odds of playing out. But that's not a trade I'm willing to take. I'm willing to take one trade. I'm not going to spend that much longer waiting for it, to be honest. Is it perfect trend line too? It is. No, not quite. We just have a lot of trend lines going on. That's a decent buy area for NQ longs. But like I said, I'm not willing to take that trade. If I'm taking one more trade, it's going to be the one I want to take, which is going to be shorts. It's pretty unlucky though, because if I entered ES, if it's really unlucky though, because if I entered ES, I would still be in this short. It would have never came near my stop loss. My stop loss would still be here, which is an extremely tight stop loss, and the P2 would be like all the way down here. Very, very, very far away. But Enki just had to flip extremely strong after sweeping this. Ruined it. I don't know which is going to happen first. NQ inverse head and shoulders, ES sweeping this low. I kind of vote for ES sweeping this low just because it's closer. But it would be better for me if this inverse head and shoulders plays out on NQ first. Probably won't. But if it does, that'd be pretty cool. Because then I'd be able to enter shorts with a good average and a very high probability of working out because that pivot on ES is still intact. Gonna hang out on my phone until that happens. That's a nice, very nice inverse head and shoulders on NQ. It would be a good long if ES didn't have a perfect freaking triple bottom. Um, Unfortunately, I think ES does have a higher chance to break that triple bottom before NQ plays out the inverse head and shoulders. But if by some miracle it doesn't, and NQ does go on a tear into supply here, ES shorts will be the move. I'm hoping ES would sweep that high. I would enter roughly here. My PT would be forever away. It would be based on this NQPT here. And then my stop loss would be roughly here, and I'd move up that stop loss to here once it sweeps the triple bottom for a very small loss. But I called out this inverse head and shoulders. Hang on, let's go way back in time. Let's see if I still have the drawing up. Where did I say you can go long on NQ at? Literally right here. Look. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. Look at this. I called where NQ is going to bounce. I said it. Oh, how many times did I draw it? Oh my gosh, so good. It's almost like we know how to read a chart. It's just unfortunate that today's chart is shitty. I cannot make money from this. Might be able to make some money here, but I need NQ to go a lot further. Because now we got the double fake prophecy in play. There's a glimmer of hope that today could actually be green day or break even just barely. But if not, with only one more trade, today's loss is looking pretty small, so it's not that big of a deal. I really want NQ to get into supply, though. I really want that to happen. It did not make a higher high. I need to watch the NQ chart. Did NQ make a higher high? It did not. Now, this was the original trade that I took. So let's see if it even gets to the original stop loss. Because my stop was all the way up here, then I moved it to here. So far, moving into break even was a good decision because I would have stopped out. Would have saw some green again, then stopped out. Is ES flipping? Would I have to go short on NQ again? Because ES kind of looks like it's flipping strong. I really wouldn't want to there. There's an NQ hitting the supply zone. I wanted it to sweep this high here. This is why I initially put my stop loss where I did. A couple points above this. Very minor pivot. Because I think it's, with how heavy supply is, I think if it's going to go in supply, I think it's fairly likely to sweep this and then come down. But honestly, if NQ is weaker, I'm probably just going to re-enter the same trade, guys. I'm probably just, yeah, roughly here. Maybe a little bit better of an average, but it's pretty much the exact same trade. Just this time, it's actually the same odds because the bullish liquidity sweep that happened dropped the odds, but the sell side liquidity sweep increases the odds. But we also have the perfect triple bottom on ES. We'll see. And yeah, ES may be going for a big trend break to the upside. I don't know. What a low volatility day, folks. I don't know if there's enough movement in the day to make this trade work out. It's just so low volatility. Look at this on ES. What terrible. I'm lucky to be only small red today. All right, would have got the initial stop loss. Gorgeous analysis. All right, come back down, buddy. If it goes up, I don't really have a trade. I'm not willing to take a trade. But if we go down, I'm willing to get in roughly here. P2 would be here. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to hang out on my phone until that possibly happens. So that's actually a break to the upside. Now ES also has potential double fake prophecy. Fake one way, fake the other way, go the original way. I'm willing to take this trade. Only if it comes down though. If it goes up, I'm not getting in. Yeah, I like this trade a lot. In fact, that's a reversal candle right there. If you're really feeling it, you could enter a reversal trade here. I'm not because it didn't get a volume spike. That's a bearish candle open too on NQ though. ES, not so much. It's actually above the 50%. I can't do that. I gotta be down here. Maybe I'll enter a little bit early. We'll see. It depends on how big the bearish momentum is. You know, a reversal trade on ES here is not terrible. The stop loss would be tiny. I think I'm gonna take it because I'm not willing to wait for it to get all the way down. I tell you, this is literally my last trade. I'm literally just betting on the double fake prophecy. Super, super tight stop loss. I'll move my stop to break even if it gets to my original entry, and that's it. This green candle does not look good though. It looks like it's gonna go back up. But really, this is pretty much it. I'll take a small chance on this, and then that's it for today. It looks like ES is actually flipping strong-ish at the moment. This next candle opens green. It's pretty guaranteed to stop out. It kind of opened green. I guess the PT could be this triple bottom, but this is my NQ. Like, this is my big PT here. This pivot. That's what I want. Still very unlikely that this reversal trade plays out, just like any. It's missing the volume spike. It would be nicer if it swept this high in supply, but I'm just betting on the double fake prophecy. That's really all it is. At least it got one candle in the right direction after the reversal. Would have been a turnoff if it just went straight up, so I'm happy with it. Looks like NQ and ES are about even in strength at the moment. Looks like ES might be a tad. Yeah, ES is a little bit stronger. Watch for a possible cup and handle here on NQ. It could totally happen. It'd be a very fractal cup and handle, but it could happen. Ew, now ES is a lot stronger than NQ. What the hell? That's disgusting. That sucks a lot. That sucks a lot. ES is a lot stronger than NQ now. It actually would have such a good chance of it would actually, even though these trades are statistically have a low win rate, this trade would have a very good chance of playing out if it were weaker than NQ. And it is not. I mean, since the entry, it seems like it's stronger now. But the fib wise, ES is technically weaker because ES has retraced more of this move than NQ does. Good trade though. I mean, I caught a top. I don't know if it's the top, but I caught a top. I'll be right back. I got a phone call. All right, I'm back. Double fake prophecy is confirmed. It's over. So now I just gotta hope that it keeps going down. I'm willing to move my stop loss down one tick. I don't want to get I'd rather take a very small loss than risk getting perfectly swept on my last trade of the day. Um, but that's a double fake prophecy. Now we just need it on NQ, which means it's the double fake prophecy. Fake one way, fake the other way, goes the original way. It already did. It doesn't have to continue going down. It got to the other side of the trend line. NQ still hasn't though. And I don't actually have a hard PT on ES. You could do this PT. It's still a big win. But by the time ES gets to here, NQ is going to be here, and I'm going to have to go for this again. So I'm essentially going for the home run, which is very low odds of happening, but it's fun and it's cool. And if it does happen, that's very neat. Double fake prophecy, you gotta love it. What a great thing. I love the double fake prophecy. It's nearly at my first PT. When it gets to that, I will move my stop loss to break even, and then I guess I'll just hope that it continues going down like another 4 miles because, yeah. Is this actually a perfect trend line? This trend line would make me sell early if it's perfect. It's not quite perfect. Have we taken any trades? I took the CS short as a reversal trade. That's a very bullish candle on ES with a nice volume spike. Let's see how hard it bounces. The next candle somehow opens within the buying wick and it's red. It should invalidate it. It did not open within the buying wick. I guess it can go for an inverse head and shoulders. I mean, a regular head and shoulders. That's why I kind of put my stop losses in a break even yet. Looks like NQ wants to bounce a lot more than ES does. But NQ didn't do the double fake yet. I needed to break under this trend line, or even just get a little bit under this trend line, then go up. Then it's confirmed. This was a really good trade, though, guys. This is fantastic. A good trade to end off on, even though it could not get to my PT all the way. What a solid analysis, solid entry, all of it. Yeah, Karita, I've already explained it. Did you pick up on that when I explained it? Just if you have a solid pattern and it fakes a break one way, it's likely to fake a break to the other side and then go the original way. And that's what happened. Yep. And that's what happened. It doesn't have to keep going down. I just hope it keeps going down, but it doesn't have to. It already played out. Double fake prophecy, solid. Very solid thing. That's a really hard bounce on NQ. There's a chance that that could be it. I don't want it to. ES is also a lot weaker than NQ. I'm hoping it's just going for head and shoulders. But that's a nice bounce setup on NQ. I like this. It got a solid ass reversal candle. Pretty solid volume twice in a row. Lower lows with buying wicks. Solid volume. I like this red candle after this bull hammer because shorts are still getting in and they got squeezed out on this green candle. It has potential to go. ES doesn't look half as good as NQ does, though. But I don't think it's going to matter. If NQ goes all the way back up, it's going to drag it. And if NQ, honestly, guys, you could take a long trade. If NQ gets back up to here, I think there's a very high chance that it's going to continue going for this high. But like I said, this is my last trade no matter what. I've been here too long. And I'm risking a whopping 6 ticks, a 1.5 on this trade. Looks like that may be it. Looks like the perfect triple bottom may live to fight another hour. It was a great attempt. It really was. But now ES looks like it's flipping stronger than NQ. So pretty much when it gets to my stop loss, I am bullish for it to get up to here. That's where it's very likely to go, in my opinion. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to come down. These candles are gapping up. That looks like it's it. Great trade, though. Yeah, damn. ES is a lot stronger than NQ now, it looks like. It's like shorts are getting squeezed out. Oh my gosh, look how much weaker NQ is than ES. That's painful. Gonna hang out on my phone until it gets to my stop loss. Or somehow goes all the way back down. Well, ES is weaker than NQ, but the way NQ is kind of chopping up looks like it's just going to continue squeezing out shorts all the way up to my blue line here. So I'm just kind of waiting to stop out so I can document and then wrap things up. Perfect day psych wise, price action gave me literally nothing. The only thing that was possible is this run here. It's possible to make money on that run, but because I literally sold shorts at low of day, I'm not willing to just reverse and go long, especially because this was a news drop. I don't know what causes drop, so I'm not just going to bet against it immediately. So yeah, I don't think there's anything today that really could have been better or different. I think today was like the most optimistic or optimized trading possible. It's just this is look at this. This is freaking horrendous. This is like the most horrendous price action day that we've seen in a while, actually. This is terrible. Oh my gosh. It won't be terrible if this somehow comes down because ES is super weak and this head and shoulders confirms and we go out with a huge home run, but it's not looking like that's going to happen at all. It looks like NQ wants to continue squeeze into the upside. It's going to take a lot of brand new shorts to randomly step into the market to dump it back down, and that's not very likely to happen during lunch hour. So just going to keep hanging on my phone waiting for something to happen. SPA during power hour versus second hour to open. I don't trade later in the day, Meow Mix. I got a life, dude. I can't. I haven't traded power hour in a very long time. Plus, I actually tend to hate it because TA starts mattering less and less. Like, yeah, you're gonna get a little bit better moves, but it's not gonna be predictable. Like everyone's a lot of the price at for the realistically during power hour, you have 30 minutes to trade, and the last 30 minutes are people filling orders for tomorrow or exiting positions that they're in today. And then you got the 10-minute before close, that random ass huge candle that always happens. Um, it's just gambling. The last half hour is just truly gambling. My TA is it's so easy for my TA to be invalidated, um, just because people are closing positions. I actually really don't like trading power hour for that reason. Swaggy, it's all gambling, but it's gambling with an edge. During the last 30 minutes of power hour, you're gambling without an edge. So you're no longer the casino. That's the difference. Gambling with an edge is far different than gambling without one. This is bullish consolidation on ES. Let's see if it breaks to the upside. Geez, NQ is bullish. I think NQ might just work its way up. I think NQ is just going to kind of continue squeezing. The way it keeps chopping up and invalidating every single pullback, I think it's got a very good chance to get to my blue line. And maybe beyond that. Told you guys, NQ is so freaking bullish. I would have liked to enter if I wasn't already in this trade, just waiting for this trade to stop out. Like I said, entering longs to this blue line looks pretty dang guaranteed. Looks like they're finally squeezing out the rest of the shorts there. I don't know if it's going to be able to go much above this blue line, though. I think it may just sweep and then kind of come back down. Yeah, the entries have been very solid, Swaggy. Very solid indeed. Missed the triple bottom, though. Such a rare... That is very rare that missed. Don't like how long it's taken to stop out, though. I have shit I need to do. This is taking way too long. There's that blue line on NQ, just as predicted. Very easy long trade there if you took it. As far as going above that, I don't know. Like I said, I'm at my stop loss. I'm bullish for ES to retest supply. I'm thinking it can even get to here. Beyond that, though, I lost my bullish bias for it to clear pre-market high. It's just way too choppy. There's not enough participation for that. But at least getting back to supply and even sweeping this high, I think it can do it fairly easily, actually. But if we do come back down, at whatever point, probably roughly around here, shorts through the triple bottom, very obvious trade. Like that trade is more than extremely likely to play out. I give it like a solid 98% chance. I don't think there's been a trade this year or within the last 5-ish months that I've taken like that and it stopped out. It's happened before, but it's very rare. All right, that is it for me. Good luck if you continue to trade. I will see you guys later. Price action was extremely shitty today, but fantastic TA. You could have made plenty of money on that reversal trade. It was a good trade, but missed my PT, so I ain't selling. But all right, I'll see you guys later, and let me know if you guys need anything.